forcing the other god into a coma, essentially. And then the other way to kill a god is to have the knowledge of them and belief in them fade and die out. Because in mainline D&D, the gods get their powers like explicitly from their followers. So if they have no followers, they have no power. Gods in this setting work slightly differently because they came from the ether and had power already. So, yeah.
I have to say, I did hear that does sound like we're about to go to a space nursing home, which is very apt. But it sounds very cool.
All right. Can't wait until I eventually turn myself into a grandpa.
Nice.
Can't wait till I touch something that turns me into a grandpa.
All right. So just finishing up, or well, mostly finishing up. There will be more, but I will share at least a portion of this once it is fully finalized. This one should be okay. Yeah, we'll do this. So that's fine. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's try down. Okay, so another 0.5. Okay. All right. I am going to give you a little preview of the sheet for your ride. It is not complete because it still needs some names added to it, but I shall reveal it when you see it. so you can see its stat block, or well, sort of.
Who are you attacking?
Oh
What?
shit.
What was that?
There was a roll on roll 20.
Oh no! Wait, what? Oh,
My bad.
What? Oh, okay.
I'm going for the DM.
Oh no.
Yeah, you have to roll a lot higher than that. And no, you cannot crit the DM.
DC 100.
Just about. Alright. Alright. So, into the thick of it. Or, sort of. Okay, so. Alright. So, glorious adventure. You know what? I just realized something. I don't think I actually uploaded some map for Amon onto Roll20. I'm not going to, because you shouldn't be there for too long.
Gotta get to fucking space.
Sort of space. Because there's actual space off-world, and then there's the astral plane. Because the world you're on has 2 moons.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the moon.
Which
Which
one?
one?
The one that's normal or the evil one?
Evil moon.
Evil. Yeah.
I'm not joking about the evil one. You want me? I'm gonna just read straight up. Read off the info on that one. So the 2 moons, moons. Come on.
I persuade the moon to let us up there.
Honestly, that would be pretty hilarious.
Ah,
Man on the moon. Just be like, okay. Up you come.
I was just looking at my persuasion at a cool -1. And it feels so wrong.
Opposite Coda.
Yeah.
Hey, I now have. Actually, Wendland has good persuasion too, actually. But now I have a min roll of 19 on it.
Ooh. Yeah,
Say
we'll be
minimum.
alright.
Fucking hell.
Hmm. Well, that's perturbing. It's not in this source book, or at least not by its name.
Mm.
All right. There's Exandria. There we go. Satellites. There we go. There. So the 2 moons of Exandria are often depicted close to each other. Catha and Rudis. What the fuck you're supposed to say that? Catha is basically Earth's moon. Though it's closer to Exandria than Earth's moon is to Earth. Which, by the way, our moon actually does have a name. It's Luna.
Hmm.
So Luna is not as close to the Earth as Catha is to Exandria, but Catha is similar in appearance to it. So, but larger in the sky because closer. There's a 30 to 40-day cycle, but then there's the more exciting moon, Ruidus. It appears smaller in Exandria's sky due to its further distance from the planet, and its reddish-purple, maroon-brown color contributes to a dimmer glow. Lycanthropy is relatively unaffected by this moon in comparison to the closer moon. It has a very slow orbit, taking about 6 months for a revolution, and is visible for about half the year. However, myths and rumors about this more distant moon abound. Some believe it to be either pre-creation, when the elements themselves were consuming all of Exandria. Others believe that it may not have originally existed, but was a creation of the betrayer gods. But most commonly is the fairly standard belief across various cultures of it being an entity of ill omen.
Mm.
So yes,
Be funny if you get there and it's all rainbows and sunshine.
that would be pretty fun.
I don't know why they're so mean to me.
Why do they hate me so much?
All right.
At level 20, though, I wouldn't be mad at fighting the moon. We can fight a moon.
Fight a moon?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's become Majora's Mask now.
I cast Wish. There's no more moon.
I become the moon.
You
Can't go
know,
to the moon if you delete the moon.
that would be an entire plot point, actually. The whole campaign, pretty much. Especially if I just ripped off Elder Scrolls and made the two moons disappear.
That would be quite interesting.
All
First
right.
things first. Gotta conquer the astral sea first. Then we can get switched to the moon.
Conquer's a strong word.
Fair, very fair.
Well, weren't we looking to get that one? Wasn't it like a ship or something?
Wait, are you talking about the pet?
I'm not sure.
It's like a big ass creature, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I think that's why.
The astral Leviathan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
Or
Yeah, that's
Dreadnought.
the one.
Dreadnought. Not Leviathan, Dreadnought.
That's why I was thinking ship because Dreadnought.
Well, I mean, if you can find one that's already been subdued, that might be easier than dealing with a CR-21 creature.
I'll name him Spot.
I thought you said Spock instead of Spot for a second. I was about to call you nerd, but then I was the nerd. It was me. I was the nerd the entire time. All right.
He will be our friend.
He will be our friend.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna have everybody just roll me a flat d20, real quick.
Oh.
I mean, it's not a bad thing if you get low. This is mostly inconsequential.
Still, it's always nice to see a nat 20.
Hey, rolled
I
the
need
same.
Pierre. I need Sud and Claire to roll again.
Ooh, 1v1.
Shit. Oh shit.
Sud?
Let's
Up.
go.
Oh no.
Damn.
Alright.
Let's get all the ones out now.
Alright. So that means we have Instamon for Scratch. We have Mr. Prax.
Ooh, ooh.
We have Miss Clara. And then we have Mr. Sud. Alright. So that was literally just for the order I'm going to go down the line for your characters arriving.
Mm.
Alright. So Mr.
Sud
Scratch and
arrives
Smith.
really late.
Yes, Sud barely shows up to orientation. Uh,
No, he's there. He's just asleep. He's just
all right. So, Mr. Scratch and Sniff,
Yes, sir.
you have only just, like basically this instant, arrived in Amon. Let's say, would you have arrived by road or sea?
From where I was, I would have probably went for road.
Right, so you were to the north.
Actually, I think it was to the south.
South? North
Yeah.
or south? Right, yeah, you were in the Dagger whatever mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dagger Bay Mountains. Yes. So you are arriving from the south to Emon, City of Fellowship. You've learned, long ago that kobolds are not especially well liked by many folks of supposedly civilized society. What are you doing to sidestep this?
So, Scratch has a simple 2-layer plan. His simple 2-layer plan is to keep his hood up as layer 1, and layer 2, if anyone has any questions, he's just going to say that he's a Rot of the Litter Dragonborn.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you are going to try to play yourself off as a hunched, probably halfling or something. If nobody sees your snout poking out. And if anybody does, you're like, I'm just a really small dragonborn.
Don't ask any more questions. I'm very self-conscious about it.
Just look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I deal with my shit as it is. Move along. You're also coming off the fresh, bittersweet feeling of, well, not super fresh. It's taken you probably at least a couple of weeks to get up here. You've made your way to Amon because it's the biggest fucking city on the continent. There has to be something there for you to distract yourself with some sort of interesting adventure. You've heard that it is a fairly popular place for adventurers, so why not? They all got all sorts of weirdos there, it sounds like.
No better spot to start fresh.
Mm-hmm. Earn some coin, cook some beasts.
Exactly.
Speaking of cooking, I will go ahead and say that since this is such big, fairly easily accessible information, and you actually probably would have seen a few hints of it on your way up here. You are also aware that they do have a little bit of a fire elemental problem of sorts. And fire elementals, you can theoretically, at some point, possibly get your hands on some, like, basically fire salts or something, or some sort of like ever, uh, ever burning embers or something. Could probably be a really good ingredient for something really giga spicy, or potentially just like a really good cooking source, like for a heating element. But maybe later. First things first, you gotta figure out what you're doing here in town. And you do see a number of basically like you find your way around you and you eventually come across basically some wanted posters, like help wanted posters, though there are a few just straight up wanted posters as well. Number of criminals, information about various persons of interest, uh, bounties on, like, hey, I'll pay you this much for bringing me this rare thing. Inquire at this address for payment details. But you do see this one flyer that's kind of got like a pretty prominent spot on the board, and it's very fancy in comparison to most of the others. The others are mostly just plain parchment that's been, inked on and just tacked onto the board. Some of them have drawings, some of them have, fancier handwriting than the others, but this one's got like calligraphy and shit. And like some kind of like wax stamp on the bottom.
Scratch
and
thinks expensive flyer means class got some coin to throw around.
Mm-hmm. And you do see that it is a large lettered advertisement for adventurers wanted. Deep exploration of the astral sea.
Scratch is gonna be like, oh, never been there before. Why not?
There's more to it.
Oh, sorry.
Experienced combatants wanted for exploration and protection duties. Payment starts at 4 gold per day, which you know to be an insane amount. Everyone knows this. There's a little bit of a disclaimer that's in slightly smaller text, but not like you have to squint to see it kind of text, like the bullshit they put on like medicine bottles and stuff. But it's more like just like instead of in large text, it's in standard size. There's like a little disclaimer that says acceptance of this is a contractually this is a contract position reserved only for those who are truly capable of facing extraordinary circumstances. And there's actually another little thing that doesn't quite look like it was added on after the fact, but almost kind of has that vibe. Says most clerics need not apply.
Scratch is going to. His eyes are going to immediately go to the 4 gold because that's insane. And whatever he does, he's going to need some money. 2, he's never been to the Astral Sea before, but he feels like he can handle whatever comes his way. Like he's lived in the more dangerous spots. What else could be new? He'll figure out, like he did there. So he'll probably. Does it look like there's more than one of these, or is this like do not take kind of thing?
This is a do not take kind of thing. It does have an address listed.
Okay.
It lists an address in the Cloud District.
Okay. In that case, Scratch wouldn't see the point in dilly-dallying. He would just pretty much walk straight there. I don't know if I need to roll for this, but like he would try and sense what is the path which would give him the least chance of getting any hassle.
What was that?
He would try and take the path that would give him the least, like up to the cottage, to give him the least hassle of like him having to go into the second layer of his plan.
Right.
So he try and be stealthy about it, but you try and like straight there.
That I'll say that's a survival check, which is good for you. Though you are also not familiar with this city, so you don't have the. It's going to be a bit more difficult in general for you, but also easier because you have survival skills. Also, it's not the Cloud District; it's the Cloud Top District.
Gotcha.
You actually get lost for a while.
Oh
With
no.
that 4.
You know what?
What?
Can I like he'll like if after he's like I've been lost for a while, he'll try and look for the nicest looking person he can find, preferably a younger kid, and he will lean into his age and say, "Excuse me, like, what do you find something like that?"
Hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
I want you to give me a what? Give me a D4, please. Alright. You're like, I'm pretty sure this is a wrong place because you see a lot of like temples and a couple of big ass cathedrals and shit. You have accidentally made several wrong turns and made your way to the temple district instead.
Uh,
But make a perception check to try and locate an individual who it matches your criteria.
okay.
It's not too hard to locate a bit of a younger looking fellow. It doesn't look like there are any unattended children in the area. Uh, but you do see a young teen girl. She's currently uh, she's actually in uh, like acolyte robes, and she is currently um, kind of tending to a little potted plant on the side of one of the buildings.
Okay. In that case, he's going to. Let me see. I don't have like a stick or anything. Okay, never mind. His like gait of his walk will change into like once he spots her, his gaits will change into a little bit more of a hobble. And he'll go, "Excuse me, young miss. Excuse me. Might I have a moment of your time?"
I'm going to consult the dice about something real quick. Wow. She turns towards you, and this young girl, best guess, maybe like 15. Looks human, uh, darker complexion, uh, like ink black hair, uh, kept in a braid towards the back. Um, but looking at her, um, you can see that uh, her eyes are overly pale. She still has irises and such. They're pale, but they're probably brown. But it almost looks like there's a milky film over her eyes. And she just turns like, oh, yes. She's not looking directly at you. She's off by like a handful of inches.
"Excuse me, young one. I could I get your assistance? I was supposed to meet with someone up in the Cloud Top district, and I don't seem to know where I am. Can you help me, point me in the right direction, or help me get there?"
Oh, yes. So she kind of like seems to orient herself slightly, and she touches the wall. She like runs her hand over it, feeling it for a moment. She kind of like turns while still touching the wall, and like looks, almost seems to like look around by turning her body facing multiple directions until she kind of like reorients herself, pointing towards uh, the um, the southern gate of the district. Said, if you go through the south gate and immediately, uh, as soon as you can, head east along I don't have a street name, so she just gives you a street name. That will lead you directly to the western gate of the Cloudtop district.
Oh, I understand. Thank you. I wish I had something to give you as thanks.
No. Don't worry about it. I have everything I need.
Well, thank you, young one. You have a good rest of your day.
You as well, sir.
Oh, what's up?
She just said, you as well, sir.
Oh. And he
Here,
starts.
actually, I'm gonna. There's the. Oh, come on. There's a specific. Right. She just. Uh, she says, you as well, sir. She seems to like pause for a minute to try to like remember exactly what she's supposed to say. Like, actually, I've lost what I was going to say. Right. Arathis, watch over and inspire you. She seems proud of herself for that.
Wish you too, young one. And he walks away, having very little idea who that god is.
Oh, fun fact: there is actually a canonical art piece that depicts Arathis and Melora, goddesses of civilization and nature, respectively. And I have it. Because they're also a couple.
You love love.
Yes. Ta!
Ooh,
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
badass.
The Wild Mother and the Law Bearer.
Cute.
Yeah. Alright. So you begin heading off, making your way off to Up Top District with those instructions, passing back through the Central District, which is the predominantly residential area, which is the largest of the districts. It was the one that you wandered around the most, looking for where the hell this place is supposed to be. But with those directions, you just basically leave back through the gate that you came into the Central District through, and follow it until you find the major street that the girl had named. You hang a left, and you just head on straight forward, cross a couple of bridges, because there are multiple waterways throughout the city, primarily just so that access to water is easier. Um, and as you're approaching, you actually see the walls of Iman are 60 feet tall. It is, and we're like very, very well stocked with guards. You now see ahead of you, as you're heading towards this gate. The gate you were directed towards is set into a 100-foot tall wall of shining white stone. And even past the top of this enormous wall, you can actually see a single tower shooting up at least another 100 feet higher. Above the wall, where you see like these extensions kind of off to the side near the top of the tower. And at the end of two of these extensions, you see ships. Two full-sized, like sailing ship-sized ships levitating in the sky.
Scratch is thoroughly impressed.
At this distance, it's really hard to make out many details. But they're fucking flying ships up there. As you have now seen the skyport from below. As you approach the gates that are open, but you don't really see much traffic going between the cloud top and the rest of Amon. As you begin approaching, a couple of actually pretty heavily armored guards kind of step forward, and one of them kind of like raises their hand. Well, what business do you have in the Cloud Top district?
I'm just looking to take a job.
What kind of job?
Something of traveling to the Astral Sea, I believe.
They kind of I forgot that I should have actually included this when I was giving you the information from the flyer. But the flyer says that if you are would have said that if you are stopped at the gate to the clock top, to say that you are here courtesy of Lady Cromvale.
Okay, so while he's kind of like, he's like, oh wait, sorry, my memory isn't what it used to be. I'm here on the behalf of Lady Cromvale.
They kind of exchange a look for a moment. It's like, all right, I'm going to roll for something. Oh no.
Oh Lord.
So two of you are familiar with my rule of threes
Oh, oh no.
God.
concept.
Oh.
Um, when I roll my dice, which I call the council, my 3 primary d20s, if I get the same number on all 3, things happen. I haven't even introduced the full party, and I got a triple. Because it's also a high number, I will rule that that random bullshit is going to be something beneficial to Mr. Scratch.
Nice.
Let's go.
I was scared for a second there.
But you see past the gate as the guards are look like they're about start like scrutinizing you, and you're like, shit, I'm gonna have to rely on Plan B. There's this like horn from inside the cloud top, accompanied by like you see like this flare of light coming from beyond your, the area you can see from within this gate. And all of the guards turn, like, and you see a handful of them just rush off towards towards that flare of light, which only dimmed a little bit, but it appears to still be there. And you like, shit, something's happening, but I mean, it's a distraction.
There's something is to that blessing that girl gave me. Oh. Does anything look like anything really bad is happening in that other corner that's giving me the distraction?
Make a perception check as you're making your way through. There's a lot of soldiers over there. You think you see some fire, but it's like there's like no buildings on fire or anything. But there's a lot of activity over towards the more like northern, like northeast wall of the district, like up near the wall. But nah, it's just convenient distraction time.
Oh, they got enough people. They'll probably be fine.
You do see that as like that's a lot of people. What you don't see would make you consider whether or not you could get something out of joining them, but you want to know out of character what's happening?
No, I know out of character what's happening. I'm like, yeah. The thing you said about the fire elementals, was that something Scratch knew, or was that just something you were telling me?
Something that Scratch knows is that like some like 20 years ago, fucked up red dragon, a bunch of other dragons attacked Imon, and the the extra fiery red dragon made camp there for a while, and ever since there's been like a couple of places near the city and inside the city, maybe, that have to deal with weird fire elemental bullshit.
You know what? Scratch will make a quick pass to see what's there. Out of character, I think I know what's there, and I think Scratch should be able to put two and together that, like, there's probably an elemental breach.
Mm.
And
But you see, like you kind of like make your way closer a little bit. There are a couple of soldiers who, as they're running to back up the ones that appear to be like stationed, because you can actually see like little like posts and a handful of like elevated platforms, kind of arranged in a like a semicircle around this big fucking crater by the wall. And out of the crater, you can see just this billowing smoke, fire, and with your perception, you can see that the soldiers are. You think they might be fighting something.
go a little bit closer. See if he can lend a hand. Check a couple arrows this way. But like he's gonna try and like be stealthy about it, so if it's nothing, he doesn't like get stuck getting hassled by more guards.
Mm-hmm. Make me a stealth check. Nice. I swear to God, if these dice derail the entire fucking campaign before it even fucking starts.
Wait, did you get another 3?
No, I did not. I only rolled 1 this time. So, but it was basically to see if anybody notices you. They don't. But as you're sneaking forward, we're actually gonna move to Mr. Proxidike.
Oh shit.
Mr. Proxidike. You have just arrived, maybe at most a day ago, in Iman,
Hmm.
seeking your fortune, maybe answers even. Heard that they have a lot of very powerful people here. Politically, monetarily, magically. You're aware, though. You're just uh, to most people, you're basically just a kid with a sword
Mm-hmm.
and a funky hairdo. Which even then isn't really all that funky because it's just basically you have bifurcated hair, one side's black, one side's white. That's not too wild, all told. You don't have like giga anime protagonist hair. Um, but you've also checked around a bit, on like help wanted ads and such, and it one of the ones that you checked yesterday that hadn't really had much on it that really called to you. You see a new post, much nicer. It's the same one that I described for Scratch. Exact same information and everything. And you feel just kind of a little shimmer of sensation across one side of your face looking at it.
Hmm. That felt weird. Is this like something I can? This isn't something I can take, right? Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, you can't take it down, but it does give directions, or at least what to do to reach the place.
Can I reach it? Like, can I touch it?
Yeah.
And you said there was like not like a stamp, but like a wax seal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I like rub my hands over that and like the paper?
Sure. What are you trying to get from this?
I felt something when I was reading it, so I wanted to see if anything happened if I touched it.
Make make a perception check.
Okay. Mm,
Oh no. My dog's right next to me. She gave me one of her torn up toys. I'm holding it over her, and she tried to jump for it, but she like slipped mid jump. She's a silly pup.
Oh no.
So you reach out and you touch this post, and you're not able to really pin down anything like any like if there's like a particular part of this that causes any special reaction, but the tips of your fingers do just ever so slightly tingle as you kind of brush them over this parchment.
Ooh, that felt nice. I say to myself.
Okay.
And then I guess I just follow the directions. Would I know where to go since I've been here a day?
You know enough to be able to kind of navigate your way, like top district. Oh, middle of town, big fancy spot, rich people's quarter.
Hmm.
Got it.
Yep.
Then again, dad's for four gold a day, so that's the biggest paycheck you've even heard somebody mention so far. So yeah, someone's footing a really big bill.
The money looks good.
Man, looks almost suspiciously good. Last time you heard any mention about something even close to that, it was probably like thinly veiled smuggling or something.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Um,
oh, sorry.
but yes.
I I think about it and I think about all the things I've had to do for money. And I follow the directions but with caution and curiosity.
All right. As a reminder, uh, you are the ad does say to uh, you know they say that you're there uh, courtesy of Lady Cromvale. Or okay, so slight retcon, but the wording would probably be that you're seeking an audience with with Lady Cromwell. Would be the most accurate way of phrasing.
So I'm seeking an audience with her.
Yes, you're seeking an audience with Lady Cromwell. But as you arrive at the balls, at the gate to the Cloud Top District, you see that there's some kind of commotion, it seems, going on inside the district. And the guards who are still at the gate seem a little distracted uh, by it. But as you approach, they say, "Oh, you know, how's your business in the Cloud Top District? I'm having the situation. It's under control, but Unless
Oh.
unless you have some important business, I would suggest you wait for now.
Well, it doesn't look like everything is going fine. There's a big commotion, a lot of noise. You guys need any help? Any assistance?
You have it under control. It doesn't look like it's getting any more chaotic or whatever. You can just barely see it
Mm-hmm.
because it's basically on like the other side of the district.
Oh, okay.
But you like there's enough of an impression of it that you're like something's going on over there.
Whoa. My business. I'm seeking an audience with Lady Cronvale.
Right, another one. Okay. Uh, they give you some extra directions, and they say it's like and avoid the northeast wall for now.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
But you are armed with your new this information.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way into the Cloud Top District. As you're going, I want you to make a perception check. Again.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Double.
So as you're making your way in, and heading towards the manor that you were directed to, you technically there's a yeah, I'm not retconning again. But as you're making your way towards the manor that you're directed to, since this is the rich person part of town, you do see off over towards the northeast wall the glow of some sort of large fire, but it's coming from like lower down, out of sight, possibly even underground. You can't quite see. Like you out of character know there's a crater there,
Mm-hmm.
but you in character you can't quite see the crater from where you are. But you do see that there's a large contingency of soldiers who appear to be fighting something that you can't fully see clearly past them. But you catch a glimpse here and there of like stone and fire, maybe even magma.
Mm. Mm. So, what I'm thinking is like, I feel like I would want to go towards it, even though I was told not to. But I what if I just go and die?
Session 1, new character.
For real. So I'm conflicted. Mm.
You and me
How
will die together, Kia.
how much closer do I have to get to see more of what's happening?
You have to get probably at least another 150 feet closer to get a really good view.
Okay.
And with your perception, I'll say that part of that is, you see a spot where you probably have a better line of sight to what's going on.
Hmm. Okay.
Also, give me a moment. I need to put my dog up.
You're good. It was good while it lasted, boys.
We're gonna be fine.
Like, out of character, are these fire elementals?
I
Mm.
assume so.
That's the vibe I was getting.
Yeah.
I think
I
they're
feel like,
what
I feel like we're all gonna fight it together to prove that we are
Okay.
to prove ourselves.
Mm.
Prove yourselves. Alright,
Exactly.
hey, you can treat it like a hardcore tutorial.
Exactly.
Mm.
to jump, press the A button.
Yeah, this is more like a Elden Ring kind of tutorial.
So we all die and then we all make new characters. Is that how you're getting rid of the grandpa situation? You're killing us all off.
Surprise, Kia's character is the only grandpa. He had to wait 60 years for the next party.
Well, Prax will go to a higher spot, a more ideal spot to see what's going on and get a little closer.
Um, you do so, and kind of keeping an eye on it as you're approaching this better vantage. You see so
Oh shit, I got it. A fly. Finally got it. It's gonna be me in a few minutes.
Hmm. Um, give me a moment. I'm trying to get the there's a specific thing here. There we go, that's what they're called. You see a couple of these.
Ooh.
Uh, um, It's fairly large. It does this hulk of uh, like burning stone, uh, kind of is like a full head and shoulders taller than most of the soldiers fighting it. As you're watching, you do see uh, one of these creatures uh, uh, um, get struck with a uh, what appears to be some sort of like a magically propelled bolt of water that strikes it where what you would assume a face should be, uh, and like flash boils on contact, and you see a huge part of that section uh, uh, forcefully cooled, and it collapses into heat and kind of like melts and falls apart. Uh, the soldiers turn to engage with the other. Uh, you can see that the soldiers are mostly in defensive formation. Most of them don't seem to be trying to actively harm the creature. Uh, More that they are trying to hem it in using large shields.
Mhm.
While there are casters with them, uh, you see uh, a handful of individuals. If I can. Come. You you see a group of individuals who uh, are clad in fairly minimal attire, uh, uh, being uh, of pretty formidable appearance for a caster, uh, with occasionally with limbs wreathed in flame that it almost seemed to be pulling off of the creature they're combating, uh, mixed in with a smaller number of individuals who appear to be wearing garb much more akin to that of the uh, individuals you've seen in Amon so far, whereas these elementalists have a much more uh, kind of a monk kind of vibe to them. So it as you're watching, it does appear like these soldiers and these casters, they're moving in a very coordinated manner. Um, as they continue to combat more of these creatures, because actually, as you watch, will more kind of like rise up out of the ground into view. um, from what you can see from where you are, these are formidable creatures, but there's a lot of soldiers and casters with them are doing a good job of containing these creatures.
Hmm. Um. So how far is this from me from where I am now?
You're still a couple of 100 feet away.
I would like to get closer.
Are you trying to be sneaky?
Hmm. Is this
Because
all?
you have not been so far.
Is this all still in this like rich person neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. It's actually like smack dab in the middle.
Oh, okay. I. Hmm. Yeah, I'll try to be sneaky. Try.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Yes, sir.
It's a good stealth check, but they also rolled good.
Ooh.
And because you are sneaking, you're suspicious.
Ooh.
I do. You kind of like, you crouch down and you try to keep out of line of sight of as many of these soldiers and the other sentries around the district. As you creep closer, Scratch, I want you to make a perception check.
You got it.
Oh shit.
We're back, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Some keen old
Scratch,
eye.
Yes.
as you're creeping forward, utilizing your smaller frame to kind of weave through uh, immaculate and well cultivated bushes and other such things in front of houses or manors, you see there's another individual creeping along, far taller than you. Looks like a human, uh, muscular young human, maybe 20 at best. But he has a very large sword on his back, uh, and like an open like cloak, but with uh, his his honestly impressive musculature just on practically on display. Um, he's like creeping along towards this conflict. By this point, you've as you have crept closer, uh, you also saw uh, being small does have one disadvantage, is that your line of sight is kind of more interrupted by people's lower halves. And since the soldiers are using shields, really blocks your line of sight to seeing what they're fighting. But you did see at one point when one of the creatures has gotten closer, them because of their size, you would see them over the heads of a couple of the soldiers. Um, and you saw the same creature this just hulking creature, hulking beast of smoldering stone. Uh, with the skin of barely cooled magma. But you see this guy creeping forward closer. You also see before the guards see him that he's about to be spotted right now.
You know what? I like the cut of this young one's jib. I want to see what he's about. So, here's what I'm thinking. Let me double check my features to see how. I've probably done this before. Cog.
Mm-hmm.
How visible is it to summon a companion? Is there like a big like bloom of magic, or can it just be like they just kind of like just form?
Let me refresh my memory of how. Well, or you could just, actually, it'll be easier if I just take a look. I'm gonna pull up the Drake Warden.
It just says I summon it, but it doesn't say like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It appears in an unoccupied space of your choice within 30 feet as an action. Okay. Hmm. I'm going to say that you would be able to summon your Drake uh, without any fanfare, kind of with it kind of just seeming to like fade into existence.
Check.
So
In that case,
it takes a little bit more concentration to make them summon a bit more subtly, but technically it's not a spell or anything, so it's not like you have to have, big booming incantations or anything.
In that case, I would say I would think over to my little buddy, Memory. Why don't you give these men over here a bit of a show while I talk to our new friend? And like he's going to have like not make like noise, but just have Memory like kind of like. You said I was like in a bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like have the little like thing rush out of the bush and like kind of like rush to the next bush within their eyesight for them to be like, oh, like that sort of thing. While I like sneak out of the bush, like probably first, just like to kind of be within the crowd when it happens, but to pull their attention towards there. While I kind
Okay.
of pull pull Prax a bit to the side. So
All right.
Yeah.
Question: when you summoned memory,
Yeah.
did you? What essence did you have them take?
Oh, that's right. I have to pick element.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have noticed the water people at the top, or
There are no water people. It's just that there was at least a spellcaster that used some sort of water-based spell.
okay? Would I have seen that, or is that like only Prax who saw that?
You wouldn't have seen it clearly enough to know exactly what it was.
Okay, gotcha.
You saw
In
that
that
there was a
case-
spell that took down one of them.
Okay, in that case, he will go with ice.
All
That's
right.
that's an option of mine, right?
Yes, cold.
Yeah.
Cold is an option. All right.
But yeah.
Hmm.
The council.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh no. Are we starting the campaign from jail?
Maybe.
The breakout.
But so as memory rushes out deliberately, not being stealthy, and bolts over to uh, another bush a ways away from you. The guards who were like almost in the act of spotting this other individual, like their attention snaps over and they see something like, what was that? They draw weapons and they start approaching. Tail.
Okay.
Hmm.
While I'm pulling
Hold on.
Prax, would Prax want to be pulled aside, or would he like?
Well, first,
Yeah.
Prax,
Yeah.
you notice a couple of guards. They're dangerously close to you, like turn away from you, and you saw them like draw weapons and they're starting to approach a bush that's further away from you now.
Hmm.
And Scratch, are you trying to hide yourself from Prax at all?
I'm trying to hide myself until I get close enough to him that I can like talk to him like quietly enough where only he can really hear.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Prax, make me a perception check.
You got it. I think. Ooh. Ooh.
Prax, you're not sure exactly what it is that the guards saw, because you only caught like a vague impression of it as well. It was fairly small. It was actually, hold on. Yep. um, but it was fairly small. You kind of got like the vague impression of like something reptilian, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, but it was much larger. Like it was, medium-sized dog kind of thing, but not like medium breed of dog. Like medium small dog sized reptilian. It's way bigger than most reptiles you've seen. But not monstrously so. You saw it move, and you can definitely tell where it went, but you didn't get a good enough glimpse of it to really know what it was. And you will not be aware of the kobold approaching you until the kobold makes himself known to you. Scratch.
Um, so tell me if this is too much to do at once, but when they're starting to approach, I would say to Memory to pop out and toss a couple shots at this beast to show that you're a friend.
So here's the thing. The Drake remains until it is reduced to 0 hit points, until you use this feature to summon the Drake again, or until you die. You cannot dismiss a Drake. You can only resummon it.
Oh no, I wasn't getting rid of it. I was saying to have it attack the monster.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to telepathically tell Memory to do that, and then when I head over and make myself known, I would say,
Hold on.
okay.
Okay. So you give the command to Memory to rush out from their hiding place and go attack the elemental creature. Yes? Hello?
Hello?
Do you hear what I said?
Yeah. You said that Memory's going to rush out and attack the elemental creature.
Yes. That's what you're commanding them to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll say that they're conveniently within 1 movement because they have a 40-foot movement speed. And I'm going to see how the soldiers react. And whether or not they take shots. Okay. Some of them are spooked, but because it's just rushing past them, some of them were like, is that somebody familiar? Because it's small enough. And it doesn't look like a full-on dragon. It's small. And not wings. Definitely doesn't look like it's made of fire. Because if it was, then people would start having PTSD episodes. Because fire dragon bad.
Yes.
But they rush on by and make a bite attack for your boyo.
I'm trying to
The
find.
little
Do I not have a macro in here for my friend's bite?
it is, they get a +3 plus your proficiency bonus to hit. So right now it should be a +5 to hit.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they don't have anything in here for it, so I'm just gonna roll a d20 +5.
That's annoying.
We got a 8.
Yeah, an 8.
Yeah.
But so Memory bolts out and kind of spooks the guards, the soldiers who were going to investigate where they were. Rushes over in the direction of the soldiers currently in active combat. The ones who were closer to you, like pursue just in case that it's trying to attack somebody. But seeing them like squeeze between a couple of the soldiers who are also like, what the fuck? Because they weren't expecting something squeezing between their legs. Their attention's on a magma beast in front of them. They like lash out and like bite at the at the leg of one of the magma beasts. Like just kind of like scraping at some of the stone. You can't see this happening, but through your bond, you're able to tell this thing's freakishly hot. Like, it was almost painful just to make that bite attempt.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
While that's happening, I'm going to, when I press this down, say to Prax, aren't you a little big to be sneaking?
Prax, there's an old man's voice coming from right next to you.
I flinch. Huh? What?
Good reflexes.
Hello? Hi.
Hi. Good to meet you.
Sorry. Would I know what a kobold is?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. I like put up my hand, kind of like nervously, because I was just scared.
Oh, there's no need to be nervous. I saw that sword of yours, and I assumed that you came for the same reason I did. Heard some commotion, was curious what was happening.
Yes. I'm curious, and I want to do anything I can to help. But
I understand the feel.
what is a kobold doing here? What are you doing in Iman?
Oh. I'm here for adventure. Here to take a job. Just like everyone else. Although I'd appreciate if you keep the first part to yourself. I've heard that we're not super liked around here.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Your secret's it's safe with me.
Fantastic. Well, if you still want to help, I'm going to chuck some arrows at that thing now. I could use a distraction if you're interested.
You got it, old man.
And in that case, I'm going to. Is there a roof without any guards on it, like casters?
Make a perception check.
You got it.
Damn.
This is one of my 2 good skills.
Okay. So scanning the rooftops, you do see that these are manor houses. You can tell that there probably were a couple more closer to where this crater is that were pulled down after they were also mostly burned down, and you can tell that a number of the manor houses, especially the closer you get to the crater, look newer in construction. From what you've seen so far, and what you're kind of registering right now is this district was probably half burned to the ground some time ago, and it's been rebuilt because rich people have money to do that kind of stuff, and especially when they can employ magic people. But there are no guards on top of the buildings. There are many on the walls, but that's 100 feet up. Not really too much of a concern for you, unless they aim straight down and shoot at you. But it seems that any of the guards who are in an elevated position that aren't an active part of this fight going on with these elemental creatures are not observing where you are.
Okay, because what Scratch would like to do is Scratch would like to get up on a roof to get better vantage of the thing so he can start throwing some arrows. But he doesn't want to. He was hoping to find one without any casters on it, just so like he doesn't get hassled before he can do his thing and help memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before
you do see a few like aesthetically placed creeping ivies that you're like, I could climb that on some of the walls of the mirrors.
Gotta love an inattentive house owner. Always helps.
They were there deliberately.
I take back my judgmental comment.
Gotta love overly attentive house owners when they have too much money to spend.
Hey sir, before you go, I never caught your name.
Call me Scratch. How about you?
Scratch. The name's Prax.
Good to meet you. Show me what you can do. He says with a wry smile.
You got it.
All right, so Scratch is gonna start climbing a building, getting a vantage point, so he can shoot down at the creatures to back up his buddy, who is currently backing up the soldiers. We're confused about it. And Prax is gonna do what?
Oh, I was afraid you were gonna ask that. um, since the soldiers around me are distracted, do I have to roll a stealth check to keep going forward?
If you want to be sneaky about it, yes.
Hmm. And like so. Sorry, could you like paint a picture of where I am compared to like what's between me and the creature? I know like what's
Between you and the closest creature,
Mm-hmm.
it's about 40 feet away. You are just about at the edge of the last like lawn kind of area of the manor that is nearest to the crater. The creature is on the very edge of the crater, and there is essentially a wall of soldiers between you and the creature.
Mm.
Who are like up in melee with it, basically. And you can see that there are at least like two more beyond that one.
And
They're
then
further into the crater.
the closest one that's 40 feet is where memory is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just trying to think like how I would get past this wall of guards with me and this big ass sword. Um.
I mean, you could always try to shoulder your way through.
Yeah.
I mean,
We also do it bad.
if you rage,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have advantage on your athletics to basically push soldiers out of the way to make an attack.
Mm.
And I would allow it if you did that.
See, the thing is, I just don't want to like, fucking. I don't want to get in the way or like touch any soldiers in case they're like, they get pissed, and I. But you know what?
You could do like an Elden Ring jumping attack.
Jump over them.
Like jump over the guards.
How hard would that be?
That is technically an option. That's still an athletics check.
That's an athletics check.
Hold on, let me double check the rules for jumping.
Okay. Hey, I'm down to jump.
If you not got wings, you got wings in one of your pictures.
I mean, not right
You
now.
well, not by default.
Yeah.
Fair
He's
enough.
able to make them. Alright, so movement, jumping. Okay, your strength score determines how far you can jump. Long jump is you can cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you move at least 10 feet before the jump. If you make a standing long jump, you leap only half the distance. Every foot still costs a foot of movement. A high jump is you can jump a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier if you move at least 10 feet immediately before the jump. So, and all of the like distance that you can go with jumping and stuff always counts against your movement through the turn. So what is your strength modifier?
3.
Alright, so you can jump 6 feet if you get a 10-foot running start. So
Average
you
height
could
of
jump,
someone.
yeah, you could jump over most of these soldiers. I'll still have you do an athletics check because, you know,
Oh god.
but
You got this. You got this.
you'll have advantage on the athletics check if
Uh-huh.
you rage first.
This topless guy just comes jumping out of the bush.
Grandpa's rooting for you. He has orange slices after.
All right. I remove my robe. And if it is okay, I would like to rage.
You may
Let's
rage.
go.
Okay. So, just to be clear, can I? Oh God. Can I, like, what is it? Like, run the 30 feet and then jump over them?
What's your movement speed?
30.
30. So you can move 30. Because remember, the jump would be after you move those 30. But for just the sake of this thematic moment, I'll let you make the jump.
Okay.
Just for the screaming barbarian jump attack.
All right. I remove my cloak. I rage. My does my eye glow? The white one?
Yes, your eye glows.
I glow.
Your wings do not manifest.
Cool. I
Because that's a separate action, but your eye does glow, and one part of your like along one length of your arm and across one of your pecs, there's like this burn scar that seems to manifest and glow across you.
I stand up super straight, super tall, and I begin running. And I attempt to jump over the guards. That was a
Oh
athletics.
boy!
That was athletics, right?
Yes, athletics at advantage.
How do I
Which if
roll with advantage?
so, if you're using Beyond 20,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking at your character sheet on D&D Beyond,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to roll at advantage, hold down Shift, then click. If you want to roll at disadvantage, hold down Control, then click.
Ooh, I see. All right.
I didn't know that. I just pressed it twice every time.
Good thing you raged.
Good thing
Let's go.
So I'm gonna put that on pause for a second because I want to make this funnier than it currently is, which is already funny. So uh so Claire,
Hmm.
you live in Amon.
Yep.
You're from the Cloud Top District.
Indeed.
You've heard about this rumor amongst some of the upper class that somebody, they don't know for sure who, there's some suspicions going around, that someone from the, let me double check, what was the name of this holding? Somebody amongst the noble families who is also from somebody who attended the Alabaster Lyceum.
Okay. Alabaster Lyceum.
Yes, the Alabaster Lyceum. I will give you its name in the chat so that you can see it more easily.
Okay.
But somebody from the Alabaster Lyceum, which, as a reminder, is the largest and most accomplished institute of arcane study on the continent, is the one behind this madman's dream of not only traversing into the astral plane, but taking an entire airship with them.
Hmm.
The only reason you even know this is because you live in the Cloud Top District,
Mm.
fairly near the tower where this skyship has been docked for the last few months. And you also know that skyships are ridiculously expensive. This is not something that you just, like, even the wealthy don't just sneeze out 100,000 gold for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for a normal skyship to just purchase outright.
Yeah.
This is, by what you've heard, this is not a normal skyship. Like there have been rumors that a number of arcanists from the Alabaster Lyceum have been helping in the construction and modification of this skyship.
Okay.
And you've heard that it's like, not only are they going to the astral plane, not only are they bringing a ship with them, or at least with the people they're hiring. You don't know one way or another if they're actually going on this expedition.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to go hunt down dead gods. It sounds like an absolutely mental mission because plenty of people are like, what dead gods?
Yeah.
there aren't any. Like, there's gods that deal with death and undeath,
hmm
but what dead gods? That's like even like uh what's your bonus for religion?
Let's see. +2.
+2. You don't have proficiency then, I'm guessing?
Nope, just half.
Okay. Uh but as far as you're aware, yeah, what dead gods? But whoever's backing this believes in it enough to be tossing an insane amount of money and magic at it.
hmm
Um and you've heard only just the other day that it seems like it's Lady Cromvale, Lady Imrodel Cromvale, an
Uh,
elvish woman,
what was the first
because
name?
Imrodel. Here, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Okay.
But it appears that Lady Imrodel Cromvale is the one behind it. But that doesn't really make too much sense. Yeah,
hmm
she's an elf. She's middle-aged for an elf, which is still hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But you from your experiences amongst the higher levels of uh, society in Taldore, that doesn't sound entirely in character for her.
Okay.
She's not that eccentric. Yes, she has an incredible investment in the Alabaster Lyceum. I mean,
hmm
she used to be one of the professors for some 100 odd years.
Okay.
But from what you know of her, you've maybe interacted once or twice at most. But
Mm.
it's strange. And a lot of people were really like, wait, hold on, she's the one? When the flyers went up advertising for people to staff this expedition with what you suspect is meant to be fairly expendable mercenaries,
Yeah.
but fairly well trained mercenaries in the form of adventurers,
hmm
people seeking glory and, well, adventure.
Yeah.
But this has all been kind of a bit more of a background kind of thing for you because you're still mourning.
Yep.
I mean, heading off into the astral sea, encountering alien creatures, hunting down dead gods might be a good distraction.
Indeed. That's likely almost exactly what she's looking for.
Hmm. So it is that you are not hassled by any of the guards. You know, the ones that are stationed here regularly. You know, they basically have like an extra like class essentially to be able to recognize the
hmm
signs of actual nobility, just so that they don't hassle people who have power.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, you know, this nation is a republic. It's still run by a council of elected representatives,
hmm
but nobility is still nobility. So you're able to easily make your way through Cloud Top District, and as you're entering like the more inner section where Lady Cromville has her manor, uh,
hmm
you had heard the alarm horn, something that you've heard only a handful of times, essentially signaling an incursion from the crater. Something
Okay.
more than just one creature at a time. You know that they can't leave the crater, but that doesn't mean that they can't cause damage regardless. Especially if them attempting to leave the crater, like some people are scared that every time that they make a push to the edge of the crater, even if they kind of like fall apart at the very border of it, some
Yeah.
people are worried that that might actually be slowly pushing the range of the crater outward,
Okay.
like a pulsating, festering wound
Yeah.
that's slowly infecting the surroundings, which is one of the things that the Fire Ashari have been striving to prevent with their own magics.
Okay.
But you see the soldiers all rushing to reinforce the perimeter around the crater. You see the Ashari doing their basically fire bending to weaken and slow down the what are the names again? The cinder slags. Terrible creatures. Frighteningly powerful.
Okay.
uh, One thing you do, and you know that these things are scary. Um, their very presence seems to ignite the air around them almost, and they're able to peer towards things far outside their reach, even beyond the border of the crater, and cause them to ignite spontaneously.
Wow.
One of the reasons why the perimeter is so well guarded. Why, as it basically, there's a fire break essentially between its border and the nearest thing that they could set on fire. um, but as you're kind of heading towards Cromvale's manor, which isn't which isn't one of the manors that's like the closest uh, to the crater. Which there's only like two families that were stubborn enough to rebuild their manors where they once stood.
Yeah.
Only like 40 odd feet from the crater. Everyone else was like, "Fuck that! I'll build over here." Especially, obviously the ones, if any, that survived, that had places that were where the crater is now. That's not a question, even if they're still around.
Yeah.
But the surviving nobility mostly went, "Get the fuck away from that thing." But then there were still the ones that are like, "I'm a stubborn asshole. Build here. I don't give a shit if there's an elemental staring at you hungrily from the pit only 50 feet away from you. Build!"
I'll just go in a bunker. Let my servants deal with it.
But yes.
Okay.
So you see, the, the, the wall of shield locked soldiers standing valiantly before these blistering hot conglomerations of semi-molten stone. As Ashari and other casters who have either volunteered or been assigned as to to bolster the defenses around this perimeter.
Mm.
As you see them, doing their jobs, they're doing it well. These people, unfortunately, are very experienced. Like, these are pretty fucking formidable people.
Yeah.
But as they're doing this, and you're still kind of like, you've paused for a moment, kind of like the one of those things where it's a little bit like there's a train wreck and you can't look away.
Mhm.
Except for it's more like just there's a terrifying fire monster thing
So
coming out of the ground in my city.
So it's a kind of rubbernecking an accident.
A little bit, yeah. So you're kind of like caught for a moment, just morbid fascination. When you see a half-naked man stand up out of one of the bushes off to the side and come screaming out, charging with this enormous great sword in both hands. And then just like full leap, almost like he's like being thrown from the earth, just leaps over the heads of the soldiers with their shield wall, and Prax, please make your attack.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hit him in the face.
Based on the outcome, I think is how my character's going to react to this.
Okay. I gotta find it. Ooh. Okay.
You know what? Roll again. I'm giving you advantage because I'm declaring for you that this is a reckless attack.
Oh yes. Let's.
This-
Oh God!
Okay. Okay. It's not in
He
the
comes.
dice.
Jesus Christ! He goes screaming forward. He leaps over the top of the soldiers. He brings his great sword down, and it just like it strikes against the cinder slag, and its semi-amorphous form kind of shifts under the initial force of the impact, and causes the blade to just scrape loudly against the outer exterior of its hardened stone skin, and just smash into the ground with a mighty clang. It was a powerful attack. It just didn't land right. You can see the soldiers are like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I'm
Claire's
trying to
also-
help.
Claire's thinking, what the fuck is he doing? Does he look in danger?
Do I?
From what you know of the Cinder Slags, they are formidable creatures. That's why there's so many soldiers and practitioners stationed here. Just one of them is dangerous enough. This is a whole group
Mhm.
of what looks like what had started as 5, which is terrifying. They don't manifest in this number hardly at all. It's usually just like 1, 2. But yeah,
Claire's gonna sigh and then try to get closer to help out a bit.
okay. At the same time, Scratch,
Yes.
you had to. You're actually still climbing. This is like a 4-story building. It's like your action and movement to start climbing. You're almost to the top, but you're not quite there. Sud,
Yes. I like to think that he's actually just been sleeping in the bushes for like the last couple years, and he's just completely overgrown, just like covered in moss.
so Sud, you've been you had a nice hibernation, it seems. You came to this city very shortly after it was, attacked by dragons,
Yep.
and then the dragons were killed, and their servants driven out. You came in, you saw this, you wandered around for a while. At one point, you just found this area that's completely scorched. There's like maybe a handful of, like a minuscule handful of plants that were still green left in this area, and you could you could practically feel the pain of the earth from this violent, unnatural flame. You could also kind kind of feel as if there was something still aching about the earth.
Yep.
And you felt like, you know, maybe maybe I can do something. It's gonna take a while. Gonna need a ticket.
Yep.
When things burn down, that's pretty fertile soil too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's not ideal for mushrooms, but just because you've got mushrooms doesn't mean you can't help grow other things. So you just kind of like dug a little hole off to the side. You didn't want to be in the way for people, rebuilding their homes and stuff.
He kind of just assumed he was a boulder and got so
Yeah,
overgrown that they just kind of
yeah.
made
So
the road around him.
you've been in like this like weird ass druid meditation coma. Uh, and you every now and then you're like half roused from it by just commotion nearby. Sometimes you'll hear like this distant sound of a horn being blown. But for the most part, you've been just kind of having this just like vague dream state drifting through uh, a you a broken landscape. You hear pained roars of rage,
Yep.
and that kind of like echoes from another time. Screams of people, plants, and animals caught in an inferno of wanton destruction with no purpose other than to inflict pain.
You can't be having that.
So you've been, doing your little hibernation routine.
Yeah. So
It's been a few years. You know that you've got nice, growth going at this point. Uh,
yeah.
Most of it's been replaced from mushrooms. There's still a few mushrooms there, but they're mostly like in the kind of in the shade of this little sapling that's kind of like taken root in the soil that the mushrooms have kind of like created on the top of your shell.
Yep.
Which, by the way, that's part of your skeleton.
Yep.
So you technically have a tree growing in you, sort of.
Pretty cool.
But you know, you're a spore druid. Spore druids eventually become one with the spores that they commune with, to the point that they literally are made of fungus. So that's not terrifying to you. It's like, oh hey, cool. Got a little bit of biodiversity going.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's cool. Um, but you you hear that far off noise again. You feel something, but this time something's a little different. Kind of feel the earth feels warm. It's not supposed to feel warm. Not like this. In your dream, you kind of hear that echoed roar again. It's gotten dimmer throughout the few years that you've been basically in a super coma. But this time it's louder than it's been in a long time. Like you feel maybe there's something going on that you might have to actually physically do something about.
Yeah.
You know that's gonna be a little, you know, got some aches to work out. But I mean, it'd be nice to stretch after all this time.
Yep.
So you take it, kind of like start like shifting in place a little bit, kind of peeking your head and your limbs out of your shell, kind of like slowly digging yourself out from where you're partially buried in the dirt. And like shift around, start pulling yourself up. You like just like you're still prone as you like kind of like like half crawl out of your little hole, your little divot. And you stand up. You like feel, you can almost hear the creaking of your joints from just how stiff they feel. Like you're not that old for a turtle, but still, you haven't moved in years, really. You're like, oh, I'm feeling that. Oh man, like, oh wow, you like you can like you like reach up and like kind of like crane your neck around because you're a turtle, you've got a long neck, you got to turn it almost all the way around. And you see the little sapling chilling with what's left of your mushrooms and a little bit of shrubbery that's also kind of latched on. That you kind of half uprooted. You've got a nice extra little layer of dirt added to part of your shell now. You're like, oh, that would be nice. Yeah, I can grow more stuff with that. You crane your neck around. He's like, hey, friend. Just looking at the sapling, and you're like, oh, this is big old stretch, stretching your long ass neck out of your shell as far as it goes, before kind of like pulling it back in, giving yourself just a little. Look around.
Yep. I guess I go see this. How close am I? Am I literally within the bushes that everyone else seems to be in, or am I a bit further
Um,
away?
you're not in the same plot of land. You're actually on the other side of the crater, but you're and a little further from the crater. But you see, you know, just kind of turning. You're like, oh wow, they rebuilt a lot of this place. Now you just turn around. It's like there was not a building right next to me when I laid down. Man, I am surprised they did not dig me up. uh, but you turn and you're like you get an eyeful of, you know, wow man, this place has recovered really well. Nice, nice. And you see towards the crater, because you saw the crater when you got here.
Yeah.
Crater's still there. You see there's a whole heap of soldiers engaged in a fight with these chaotic elementals. You know about elementals, at least to some extent. They're not like your field of expertise as a druid, but
Yeah.
you're still a druid. These are unnatural. Elementals are natural. Not in terms of natural and that they come from this realm, but I mean, this realm has elemental energies permeating throughout it in one way or another. Just
Yep.
not enough for elementals to really sustain themselves here. These are crazy. You just get the vibe. That's a bad elemental. He's bad. There's a bunch of them.
So am I the other side of the soldiers?
The soldiers are still between you and the elementals. It's just that you're on like. Here, I'm going to do a quick little doodle. Help it. Line of soldiers.
Oh, I see. So there. Okay.
Elementals.
Cool.
Looks like a really fucked up smiley face.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
In that case, I think um I think Sud's gonna walk, probably walk to, or slowly make his way, because obviously he's still getting used to walking again, having been asleep for a few years. Gonna walk over towards the soldiers, like not even trying to be sneaky at all or anything, just walking towards them. And then when I get within 30 feet of one of the creatures, I'm gonna cast blindness onto one of them. Assumably they're just the closest one.
Sorry, what was that?
Stud's gonna walk closer towards the soldiers, and then when within 30 feet, he's like not trying to be stealthy or anything, just blatantly walking towards them.
Just slowly plodding forward.
Yeah.
It's just like living boulder with a turtle coming out of it.
And then when
That's what you look like right now, just so you know.
Yeah. When within 30 feet, I want to cast blindness on one of the monsters. Hopefully giving the soldiers a bit of an easier time to deal with them.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Mark that off. What's your spell save?
It's 14 con.
Well, shit. They have a really high con, but they rolled crap. As one of the elementals, like it's like this thick cloud of like spores kind of manifests itself and like clings to and just like takes root across its the front of its molten visage. And it's crackling noise, and like starts kind of like swinging blindly now. As you you use your little incantation, see a couple of the soldiers like, wait, I don't recognize that voice. And just like briefly check over their shoulder, like, where the fuck did that guy come from?
These bastards disturbed my sleep.
Like they're like, okay, we'll deal with that later. Deal with the magma guys first. And Claire, well, you were gonna do something as you were approaching as well.
You said me.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. So, am I within 60 feet?
Yes.
And how many? There's 3.
Yes.
How close are they to each other?
There's maybe 10 feet between each of them. They are stretched out a little bit, so it's more like 20 between the two on the ends.
Got it. Okay, so this is. I think I still could hit all 3 of them with a shatter. Uh.
All right.
Yep, so I'll do that, but the one in the middle I'll give unsettling words to.
Okay.
That they have a 1d6 against them on that save.
All right,
And it's
roll
a
me.
Constitution 15.
All right, roll me that D6, my good lads. Never mind, doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
The first one will succeed. The second one will not. By a lot, actually. 'Cause it sucked at the roll. What was the radius for shatter?
It's a radius of 10. So if they're 20 feet apart, it should still hit.
Yeah. So all 3. All right. So that was the other one at the end. The one in the middle, actually, the one that you gave the unsettling words to,
Mhm.
did not need the unsettling words to fail. Unfortunately, the third one rolled just enough to pass, so unsettling words would have been best on them, but you had no way to know that, so oh well.
So then you take half of
Mm-hmm.
that.
As this resonating. Actually, what are you using as your implement to cast these spells?
The violin.
Right. You just you play this long note that seems to pass forward as you incant the spell, and it's like an echoing effect that seems to be like this almost a whole orchestra playing as loudly as possible, reaches a crescendo, then kind of like an almost split in the air from this thunderous booming noise, almost like the clanging of 2 enormous cymbals together.
Mm.
Uh, and it pulses out and it slams into the backs of all 3 of the creatures. The ones in the end kind of like lurching forward slightly from the impact. The one in the middle kind of actually like giving like a half step as it kind of like oozes and like it's the back half of it kind of like uh deforms under the uh intangible impact
Mhm.
before kind of like recongealing back into its base form. uh that was loud as fuck too, just in general.
Can't imagine.
Um,
Oh,
Must be quite loud to do like that much thunder damage.
well, I mean, it's easily audible without rolling within 300 feet. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's at this point
I'm scaled.
that you guys get to see what it's like to be virtually irrelevant.
Yay.
Story of my life.
Because um, yes, hello. There we go. You see, uh, you see a human woman, uh, in, uh, in her, uh, roughly mid-50s, with long golden hair that's braided, wearing blue robes. Uh, she strides forth towards the, uh, uh, she strides forth uh, towards the crater, uh, and speaks an incantation that resonates with power. Uh, you, uh, Claire, you know who this is. This is Allura Vysoren of the Council of Iman, of Tal'Dorei.
Okay.
This is one of the most powerful wizards in the capital. And
We're definitely outclassed.
yeah, she points towards one. She just gestures forward, and uh, one of like the captains in giving directions to the soldiers sees her coming and shouts a command uh, to the uh, soldiers on the right side, uh, which, by the way, is the one that's blinded. And they form. They're already formed up in their well drilled formation. But they all basically they essentially all in unison use the disengage action and back out of the reach of this creature, which technically forms a gap in the line. But they're doing this to give Allura a clean shot as she incants a powerful spell, and this ethereal gray lance fires forth from her outstretched hand and slams into the uh, the front side of the uh, blinded elemental. And upon impact, it's almost like this dull noise, and the gray ethereal energy just blossoms out from the point of impact and seems to just utterly dematerialize a massive chunk out of the side of the creature, and, turning this huge section of it to dust as it bellows in pain. You just saw a 17th level wizard cast Disintegrate. And yes, that's canonically what her level is. She's level 17. It's scary.
Oh yeah.
Very much goals.
Well, Sud did blind it.
Which I'm just gonna double check and make sure that she didn't just smite the thing outright. Nope, she just took out 3/4 of its health. You know, not outright killing it, but maiming it incredibly. Um, the other casters who were just stationed here before also, like, it's not like they've been doing nothing. There were, all these people were holding these things back uh, and just cutting them down to make sure that they didn't set something on fire outside of the critter. Um, you and you see these other uh, you see a couple of the Ashari kind of like pull in uh, this swath of flame, like drawing it off of the cinder slags, uh, and as it pulls away from them, it comes this cold flame that they then throw back at it in this freezing orb that smashes into them and then just blossoms out and envelops them wholesale, coating them for just an instant in just frost that immediately evaporates from the ambient heat of their smoldering hot bodies. You see a couple more casters release like a Gatling gun of arcane bolts of energy that arc around and through the lines of soldiers, not touching a single one, and just hammering over and over into the face of the crippled elemental. Uh, that one just crumples under the weight of the various assaults and collapses into a heap that just creates a little pool of magma that rapidly cools. Uh, the soldiers in the middle, uh, the ones in the very front, kind of like form together and all in unison, kind of like shove at the creature, um, forcing it back a couple of steps as it reels from just it's huge, it's bulky, it's heavy as hell. But that was like half dozen strong, trained soldiers all pushing. It's still outmatched by that combined force of muscle against its just mass. Uh, it stumbles backwards, and uh, you see this individual uh, who's wearing like soldiers, like their armor and such, but it's a little different than the others. You see that they've got like a double bandolier of potions, like this large equipment, uh, like uh, like tool belt kind of thing going on, and they take out a couple of couple of bottles, mix them together, shake it up, and just hurl it at the creature, who's immediately enveloped in a pillar of ice, which immediately shatters from the pressure of the internal parts of it becoming steam and exploding outwards. Um, but with it having been shoved back, the shattering ice shards just plink harmlessly off of the shields of the soldiers in front. It roars in pain, horribly maimed by the various incoming attacks that it's taken. And Prax, the one in front of you, you see uh, some of the soldiers that you had jumped over that weren't in the front, kind of like form back up after they're surprised. What the fuck are you doing, kid? And you see that there's actually a double line of soldiers in this on this side. The ones in front are focusing on their shields. There's another row in the back that have like big pikes,
Mm.
uh, and you can see uh, there's a little bit of a gleam of some kind of energy along the length of the pikes as they, um, in unison, they all kind of like stamp on the ground, brace, and thrust. Just two-handed thrust forward past the shield wall, uh, skewering these just enormous spears into this elemental creature. A couple of them do still glance off the same way that your greatsword had, uh, but some of them do like nail into the creature and it howls in pain. Um, it is now your turn again.
Oh,
One of the creatures was just fucking annihilated. There's a terrifyingly powerful wizard in the back now. Like, should be over here.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. So
The one in the middle is maimed. The one on the side is fairly well maimed.
I've just realised that I've not actually selected enough spells. I was wondering why I only had like 3 spells.
Whoopsies.
um so right now, is there like a group of soldiers in front of me with shields? Is that what you were saying?
No, they're not in front of you.
Okay, so I'm
They're kind of like formed immediately behind you,
mm-hmm.
and some of them are like telling you to get back, kid.
Hmm. I am not going to listen to them. Um so like am I like standing right in front of the what was it called? The cinder slag?
Cinder Slag. Yes, you are.
Okay. Uh super embarrassed from the first try.
Mm-hmm.
Prax will swing once more.
Are you being reckless?
Yes, I am.
Of course. Roll with advantage.
Okie dokie. Let's give this another try.
Got this.
Hey, it's
The first one.
There we go.
all right.
Oh,
Okay. You take 9 points of fire damage as you swing your sword. This time it bites into the side of the elemental, and just this boiling hot wash of heat that's been just pouring off this thing anyways just intensifies immensely. And it's like your blade is like when you pull it back, it's half of it's already like cherry red. uh, and just the heat is causing you to sweat so badly.
and did you say
You are,
9?
yeah, 9.
Cool.
You feel like you're already starting to get some like second degree burns in a couple of spots just on your exposed skin. It sucks. But I mean, you hit him, hit him this time, and it did something.
Yeah, I'm screaming in pain, like very loudly.
No pain and rage.
Mm-hmm.
Scratch.
Yes.
You finally got into the top of the building.
Let's go.
You have your vantage point. You can fire at will.
Yes, sir. Is the one that Prax hit down, or
No, but it's pretty fucked up.
okay? You know what? I'm gonna send a little. So once Scratch takes his position, he's gonna do a quick 5-second stretch, get the arm muscles warmed up. He's gonna summon his bow, his bonded weapon, and he's gonna let one ride, preferably right into the spot that Kia already kind of like named open.
Mm-hmm. The arrow sails through the air and strikes off the side of the face of the creature.
Oof.
Actually, wait, no, you're hidden from it. Roll with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, what I just said doesn't change.
Yes. Okay. So for bonus action, I have. Oh, perfect. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the other one, the less hooked up one.
So the one that Prax is from.
Yes.
Okay, they've been marked. The hunting.
And that's Scratch's turn.
All right, Claire.
So it was 9 points that Prax took.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna cast Healing Word on him.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, get it all back.
Hey,
Oh shit.
Prax, you're like, oh god, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And you hear this music behind you again. Different tune than what you heard before that cacophonous blast. But this time it's much more soothing. And in fact, there's a little bit of a song that goes to it. And you can practically feel like this ripple as it reaches your ear, and kind of it almost feels like it travels from your ear as you listen to it down across your kind of like sunburned face and down to where your burns are the worst and eases them. It's like you just like took a nice long rest with some soothing aloe vera.
Ooh.
It was very pleasant.
Would I be able to see Claire at all?
Oh yeah, she's not hidden.
And also after that, I imagine then the song will pick up a pace to be more inspiring as I give bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Very nice.
Almost like a kind of like do you know like Lindsey Sterling?
Yes,
Oh, something like that.
very nice. Lindsay Sterling's honestly an amazing reference point for a violinist in D&D.
Mm.
She does some crazy shit,
Oh yeah.
like being able to do the Matrix bend while still playing.
Yeah.
Bunch of bullshit. All right, so
Hello. Um,
hey, you blinded it. It wasn't able to hit anybody before it went down.
yeah, it just happened to be
Well,
the one that I blinded, then immediately got killed.
yeah, but it did like they're making attacks as well while this is happening, but that one wasn't able to hit anybody because it was blind.
Good. Okay. I think then. Range 60. It's gonna walk full. It doesn't need to walk. Is it, how far away from I am? How far away
You're
am I
close
from the
enough.
closest?
You're close enough to reach either of them. If you really
Okay.
wanted.
In that case, I'm gonna cast Ice Knife at the closer one. At first level. Um.
Nice. Roll for damage.
Cool. So then it's D10.
Mhm. All right, 6 piercing and 10 cold. That's a good cold damage roll. That was a good hit.
Thank you.
But you recite your little you you kind of like dip your tongue into your mouth to get like a little bead of saliva for a drop of water,
Yep.
and you just kind of twirl your claw through the air, and it kind of you like trace an outline of a blade that it's almost like a reverse time lapse of melting snow to fill in the knife. You take it and then you just kind of like do a little like, and there you go. This is
Yeah,
a
but
easy
how
little
close?
throw.
How close are they to one another?
Uh, 5 foot sphere. They're not quite close enough to each other
That's okay.
to both be
And
hit.
the cold damage, they only take if they fail a 14 dex.
Yeah.
Cool.
What to do? Um, but you throw your knife forward. It sinks into the side of uh the this crippled elemental. Just roars in pain as the ice digs into it before shattering this like little miniature shrapnel cloud. Uh, roars further in pain. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. I'm just double checking some math.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just got the same. Okay, so I didn't roll a triple, but I just got the same 3 numbers that I got the last time I rolled the 3 dice. Just on different dice. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But you throw your knife forward, it sinks in, it shatters, and the creature roars in pain, lurches, and falls apart.
Let's go.
Oh shit!
You actually finished it off.
You're nuts.
This old man's got tricks.
You're like, nice. You see this the wizard lady who'd like disintegrated half of that creature a second ago. Kind of like looks over at you and she's like, kind of gives it like a respectable, like not bad kind of nod of appreciation.
He's completely unaware. He doesn't see her at all. He's just
Like, there's a bad guy over there. I'm gonna deal with that first.
yep. He's not even aware that she's there.
Oh, God.
Even after her attack.
Yeah, he as far as he's concerned, he did that.
And you're like, neat. Oh God. I'm double checking something. Let me see how many times I can cast this. So only. All right. Oh shit. She has one of those. Wow. Okay. Well, fuck. I didn't know she had that. Okay. I'm behind on my viewing. Okay. Apparently she has a staff of power.
Ooh.
Damn. But yeah, she's holding a tall ivory staff, gold and silver symbols etched into its sides. Okay. Yeah. Well, shit. Um. She is going to, she's going to cast Hold Monster, which it miserably fails to resist. And, Prox, you see the elemental in front of you just, like, kind of seize up, and it's almost like something squeezing around it.
Ooh.
And it's just being forced to hold in place. Its semi-amorphous form still moving around, but it's being confined. This granting advantage on the load of attacks that the spearmen uh, once more thrust forth. Fewer of them glancing aside, given its restrained status, but plunging into it. Oh, jeez. Um, but a series of stabs into this creature. Um, as it's restrained and just kind of like you see just it's venting steam, smoke off of it, uh, as it kind of like seems to sag a little bit. And the wizard woman releases the spell and just kind of dissolves into a puddle in front of you.
Oh,
Soldiers all died as well.
I killed it.
But combat has finished. The soldiers that you're in front of Prax are like, the hell were you thinking?
Uh,
I can respect the bravery, but bravery can be, but that seemed more like a just foolhardy dumbass charge.
Yeah, I am a dumbass. But I killed it.
Right? Yeah, you did that. Good for you, kid.
Thank you, thank you.
Here, give me a moment. My cat is harassing right now. Give me a second.
You're welcome, guys.
What a problem.
Thank you.
I thought, yeah, that was Sud who did everything.
At this point, Stud's gonna walk over. Just
Um,
Yes, the two people who defeated the monster single-handedly. No one else was
My-
there.
my goodness. Oh fucking hell.
but the oh. So here is the official art for Allura Vysoren at roughly her current age, maybe a little bit older than she'd be in the timeline at this point.
Ooh.
Hey, Cog, I have a quick question.
I
Can I see if any of those embers are left behind?
sure make me a perception check.
Ooh.
You make a quick little visual scouring the uh, of the smoldering embers where the cinder slags had stood just a moment ago. Um, and you're rather certain that they didn't leave anything behind. Uh, though you do see that it's like, well, you're fair. You know, there's a good chance that the Earth itself that they came out of has some sort of like elemental contamination, maybe, because the ground still looks like it's freakishly hot, even where they weren't standing.
I'm gonna say to memory, memory, see if you can find this for me. And I don't know if my familiar can comprehend like what I'm picturing to look for,
Mm-hmm.
but that I just want to impart to them. Look for those things to be used as like fire sort of stuff.
Okay. Make
Stealthily, of course. Well, yeah, stealthily, but
make an investigation check for memory, which is at a -1.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
D20 -1. I was for a second thinking about my investigation. I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect.
Mm. um. So memory starts like sniffing around uh, the still cooling battlefield. Um, do you come down from your perch?
Yeah, I would like to meet up with the with Prax. But I'm gonna stand back a little bit because a very powerful person just blew a hole in the side of the mountain. And I know I'm not very well liked. So like maybe let them get their congratulations and then sync with the group. But we'll see how it goes.
All right. So as memory starts sniffing around and stuff, the um, the soldiers, like a couple of them are like asking the casters with them, like, do you know what that is? It tried to bite one of the cinder slugs. So like, what is it? And so some of them are like confused. A couple of the casters are like, I don't think that's a familiar, because Drake Wardens are not common at all. Closest you get are like the Wyvern Riders, and they're mostly limited to like 2 other places far away from here. And those wyverns are like raised to be ridden, so it's like raising horses that can fly and sting and bite and fuck you up.
Would would I have known that memory is like is with Scratch?
I don't think he told you.
I
No, you
saw
don't know
it,
that.
right?
You saw it rush out from one bush to another,
Mm-hmm.
and then he showed up, but you didn't see where he came from.
Okay.
So you don't know for sure, but like, I mean, they showed up roughly at the same time. That's the best you could really put together at the moment. But Alora, you know, comes over to kind of she comes over and she addresses 3 of you who are down here already. That was very brave of you 3, but please, these incursions are best left to those who have been trained for such things. They're equipped for this. Please, I would rather you not risk yourselves needlessly. I'd still do appreciate your assistance, but perhaps don't be rushing into things too eagerly. I'd hate to see such potential wasted on a overzealous sense of duty.
Well, they're the ones that woke me up.
She kind of like looks at you curiously.
Gonna say, how does any How common are turtles? Would anyone
They're
have
not
seen one?
very. They're not very common. They're more common off towards the east on like in the coastal area on another continent.
Yeah.
Uh, they're not. They're really not common around here. You like even before you walked into Amon, you just wandered
Yeah.
in here and took a nap. You probably hadn't seen another turtle for quite a long.
Fair enough.
But as she's looking at you curiously from your response, um, a another woman actually shows up with a pair of, well, clearly bodyguards of some kind. Um, uh, Approaches is like, well, I think that such reckless bravery can still be of use. Uh, you see uh, a high elf woman who's especially tall in a like uh, a deep like midnight blue, almost black with how dark it is of a blue. Excuse me. uh, Stepping forward, um, Claire, you recognize this is Lady Cromwell.
Okay.
Even the little one, which nobody seems to have really taken much note of Scratch as of yet, as you've like climbed down and you're kind of like moving in closer to look just quietly. But like she just like turns and looks directly at you. These just piercing blue eyes.
Scratch kind of gives a chuckle of like you're good. And he'll walk on over and has Memory finished searching, or is she still searching?
Memories finishes searching. She did not find anything.
Okay, that's fine. I'll have Memory come on over to me and like kind of like lay next to me, like not lay next to me, but like stand next to me, and I'll say, "I'm surprised you noticed me. Many don't."
It is a
Where'd that come
useful
from?
skill to have. Just Toro's like, wait, hold on, what's going on?
Who said that? Oh, you back there. My apologies. Didn't see you there.
Oh, I like your tree.
Thank you. The new edition.
It's always good to change things up.
Indeed.
But Lady Viceorn, well, I again commend you all for your efforts, but if you please, uh, Lady Cromwell actually partly interrupts. Lady Viceroy, I'm sure that you have far more important things that trouble you than reprimanding and praising these fine individuals. Please, I can take it from here. The soldiers need to rest, I'm sure. after that display you gave us all that you may need to recharge a little bit yourself. That I am still perfectly capable of quite many things yet, Lady Cromwell. But yes, I do have other matters that need tending to. I wish you all good luck on your endeavors. Hopefully, more measured than this.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
Safe
you.
travels.
She shall leave. Excuses herself. The the soldiers are like a mix of like, yeah, we appreciate it, but also like this is our job for a reason. Um, but yes. uh, but Lady Cromwell looks over the four of you. I suspect that at least some of you were here to answer more than one call.
Indeed, I am.
About the size of it for me.
When are we getting paid?
Who's getting paid? I should probably work up some cash. Not sure I left myself with any when I went to sleep. What's happening? I'll
She
do
kind
something
of
to
give.
get paid.
She also kind of like gives like a very softly bemused look at the confused Tortle. Just so you know, if you just ever so slightly changed the U to an O, your name would mean dirt. Because sod is dirt.
Pretty cool. Fuck it. I've not introduced myself yet.
Um, but
I am now dirt.
I mean, sod is dirt. It's sud, not necessarily. But yeah, you can be dirt if you want. All right. But she uh, are you interested in travel, Mr. Turtle?
Always. How do you think I ended up over here?
Hmm. And she turns and she looks at Claire. Claire Bromwood, yes?
That is indeed my name, yes.
Interesting to see you out here engaging in such.
Just felt like a bit of excitement.
Well, I hadn't actually finished my thought. I lost the word I was going to use. Interesting to see you here engaging in such excitement.
You know, lately that's kind of what I felt like wanting.
I imagine so. Well, if excitement is what you are seeking and you wish to travel, and you two are keen on monetary gain, I'm sure at least the two of you have already seen my advertisement. And Claire, I imagine that you are aware of it as well.
I am indeed.
And she turns to Saab. It seems that you may not necessarily know who I am. I am Lady Imrodel Cromwell.
I'm Sod. Nice to meet you.
She just like tilts her head ever so slightly at it's like curious name, but an interesting.
Yep.
Well, if you four are interested in joining the expedition I have arranged, please do come along. And she just like kind of like turns and starts heading back to her manor.
Claire will immediately start following.
It's a little Sod.
Same.
Same.
And now the party has gathered, faced a threat
Hey.
that definitely would have killed all of you. I'm not joking. Each one of those things is CR5.
What does that mean?
That means it takes a party of level 5 characters to take down.
We had it.
I mean, CR is also stupid. There are plenty of things that are low CR that could kill you fucking dead, no matter what level you are. Cough, cough, shadows, cough. No, seriously, shadows are an undead enemy that drains strength. And if your strength hits 0, you die immediately, and an hour later you spawn a new shadow. They're terrifying. So a level 20 wizard, if they don't have a good AC at that point, a swarm of shadows could just rip them apart in like one round.
Wow.
Unless they're a muscle wizard.
That was good fun.
Yeah, was a bit worried for Praxar.
Yeah, I was too.
I wasn't worried at all.
My boys got it.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
You,
Scratch
you-
knows.
Eh,
Fist bump scratch.
I mean, the main reason I went closer was just for potentially healing word when you go down.
Yeah, same.
Thanks, guys. I was willing to just keep slashing, just keep fucking swinging.
I gave you the inspiration for like a saving throw. Was my intention on that?
I can't believe I missed the jumping attack. Oh my
It
god.
was pretty tragic. No, I hate to rush off, but I do have to go. Um, I'll ping you over the money.
Yep.
But that was good fun. And see.
For future reference, typically I would prefer that at the beginning of the session.
Ooh.
Cool. Yep.
But as long as I get it by immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a different type of combat intro to a campaign that I was planning, but the dice demanded it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I rolled 317, so it was gonna be like, you know what would be a good distraction to buy you a way in that could also create some intrigue.
Mhm.
You're right next to not quite a portal, but you're right next to a spot that's just laden with chaotic fire magic.
Mm.
Congratulations, you get to watch soldiers and spellcasters blow up some magma dudes. Oh, you joined? Well, I kind of expected that you'd probably end up doing that.
Hell
Right.
Well, I guess we'll call this tryouts then.
I'll see you all guys next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
See you.
Bye bye.
Peace, y'all.
Bye. Alright, I want to disconnect. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
That was it was okay, honestly. Oh shit. Wait.